Mission statement: inclusion, independence, and economic vitality for people with visual disabilities. Now, overhead images of buildings, the state of Washington, the Earth spinning in space.
We want to share with you the world of possibilities.
A man with a long white cane walking on the Earth. Now text: Washington State Department of Services for the Blind. Choice, challenge, confidence, careers. A montage of scenic images from around Washington.
The Washington State Department of Services for the Blind, or DSB, is a statewide vocational rehabilitation agency that partners with people who are blind or visually impaired. The DSB believe that with appropriate training, skills, and access to information, blind individuals can take charge of their lives, go to work in good jobs with benefits, support their families, and become contributing members of their communities. DSB services are tailored to meet the personal needs of our customers and include community programs,
Images of daily activities.
child and family,
Images of children and adults.
and independent living.
Images of work activities.
Our employment programs include vocational rehabilitation, skills training at our orientation and training center, and a business enterprise program.
A title appears: Child and Family.
DSB services support the whole family in networking and finding support.
Now, Child in Yard.
Charlie is 4 years old and was born with glaucoma, a degenerative eye condition that has severely reduced his vision.
Ginny Allman.
Without his glasses, he is, I don't even know what his acuity would be. He's virtually blind.
Charlie Playing.
Ideally, I want him to grow up, enjoy sports and the outdoors. I'm hoping to be able to travel with him, but almost 5 now, I can't, it's too stressful to think about.
Does it beep when it backs up? Beep, beep.
Let's back up.
The Child and Family program is designed to support families' confidence in making choices about their child's education.
Because I have felt like I've got to get him out there. I've got to get him out there. Doing things, being in the community, and being used to being with other kids. I want him to be able to stand up for himself and to just make it clear that his vision issues are one aspect of who he is, but they're not everything. He needs to be good at something, because I think that's where we get a lot of our self-esteem. You first need to get involved with the DSB. You need to get connected with people who can help you. I don't know what I would do without the network of people who form this sort of nest around Charlie.
Text: Every 5 seconds, someone in the world goes blind.
Abby is 16 and is currently in her 2nd year of high school.
Abby Travers.
Okay, I started track this spring. I run the 100-meter dash. I've done 3 meets. And when people were cheering for me, I really felt like, hey, I can really do this, I wouldn't have been able to do that without DSB.
Abby engaged in running activities.
And the thing about our track team is, it's not really about winning, it's about improving. I think the idea of, accomplishing something, it just feels really good. Like if I've had a bad day, I immediately get better after track. If you are not connected with DSB and others in the blind community, get connected.
Now text: 16 million people in the U.S. are blind. This is expected to double by the year 2020.
The Independent Living Program assists those who are unable to engage in everyday activities.
My name is Bernice Cady. I was diagnosed with macular degeneration, and I look up at the ceiling and I see a big black spot. Those black spots, whew, that was not fun. And so they're now permanently there.
People who are visually impaired can sometimes feel isolated or be unable to participate in activities they enjoy.
Bernice in home and kitchen activities.
I called DSB because I couldn't see too good. What they have done for me is made me happy. I feel very comfortable. If I need them, I can call them anytime. I'm more confident in making sure I can do it or have somebody to call to help me do it.
The Independent Living Program allows people with vision loss to enjoy independent and active lives.
I do everything by myself. I feel very comfortable. If I need them, I can call them anytime.
Now text. 99% of people who are blind or have low vision were not born with blindness.
The DSB supports the economic vitality of Washington state citizens. The Vocational Rehabilitation Program, or VR, is the core of establishing economic vitality.
They can do a job, they can complete job tasks and basically continue working or find work in almost any position.
When I moved out to the Northwest, I was depending on a check that came in the mail from Social Security disability income every month. I am proud to say today I no longer need that assistance through that program.
Text. Vocational rehabilitation.
Our primary focus is on employment through vocational rehabilitation. This program is supported by our in-house technology services, along with orientation and mobility training.
Linda Wilder.
I'm a vocational rehabilitation counselor with Department of Services for the Blind, and I've worked for the agency for 21 years.
John Schorsch.
I graduated from Washington State in '92 in criminal justice and sociology, and wanted to become a police officer.
Now text. Qualification process.
To qualify for services for the blind, a person has to first meet the visual criteria, and they have to have functional limitations.
I was a police diver, scuba diver, and I was also a defensive tactics instructor.
A picture. John in uniform with a dog.
Then an explosive detection canine opening came up. I applied for that, tested, and I earned the position. Later in those years, I became sergeant of the dive team and the boat team, and life was great.
Now text. Intake process.
The intake is gathering information because we want to know what their background is and do they have any idea of what work is all about.
Love to play golf, love to water ski.
John water skiing.
Used to like to run, play basketball, and I really, really loved the independence.
Text. Developing the plan.
Once a person's qualified for services, then we start planning for what services they're going to require to reach their goal of employment. We want to find out what their barriers to employment are so that we can start developing the plan, because every person that comes through the door has different needs.
I had a boat, brand new, and we went out on Lake Tapps, a couple of my friends, my roommate and another gal, and we were out on the lake just relaxing, enjoying the sun, listening to some good music and just relaxing. And then later that evening, I wanted to leave, and so did my other friend. So we jumped in the boat, and we were gonna take it back to the boat launch. I felt like I knew that lake like the back of my hand. I remember taking off. They were telling us to be careful. I remember swinging out wide around this point of Tapps Island because it was really shallow out there. And that's the last thing I remember.
Sometimes it's just a matter of spending a lot of counseling time with an individual to kind of look at what are their basic fears.
Apparently, I don't remember this, but all you can really see is the water that you want to go to. And they just had this one little light blinking on the corner of this road. And I guess I just ran right into it, and my boat stuck, didn't move, just bam. And my two passengers were fine, but I went flying forward into the windshield frame, and it hit me right across the eyes. And when my friends realized what happened, they saw me underneath the steering wheel, and my friend lifted me up and thought I was dead. And I was airlifted from there to Madigan Hospital at Fort Lewis, then from Fort Lewis to Harborview.
I recently had an individual come to me that was very, very angry that they had lost their vision. They did feel that their life was over. They could not see any possibility for employment. They're very angry. They thought that their whole life would be sitting at home, very depressed. There was nothing in their life that they could look forward to.
Text from Loss.
That when I first became blind, I thought I was so alone. What am I gonna do? I sometimes catch myself, and I take a deep breath and just catch myself and think, how the heck did I get here? And I think, man, how far I've fallen from where I used to be, on top of the world, so it seemed, to here, this point in my life. What am I supposed to do?
Text from loss to hope.
Once a person does get to a place where they actually can see that they're able to do something with their life and get really excited about a career, then we focus on what that is that that person wants to do and then talk about all the different steps to get there.
Text from hope to action.
And so then I got hooked up with DSB, the Washington State Department of Services for the Blind, and my life started to change. And I just started trying to have a positive attitude and start thinking about the good things, and I started appreciating the things I have. And I just started meeting people who were also blind and just getting out there and doing things.
Text from action comes personal success.
An individual has to have good blindness skills to become independent in their activities of daily living and later certainly to go to school or to be employed.
With the training I've received here and the equipment that I've received, it's going to help me go to college and get my degree, and they can never take away my degree. And I will be a valuable asset to somebody.
Now text. Over the term of their employment, DSB participants' future tax payments will be over $17 million.
The DSB's Orientation and Training Center provides comprehensive training in alternative skills, such as Braille, orientation and mobility, and computer use, as well as physical skills such as home maintenance and shop class. DSB supports strong partnerships with customers, communities, employers, and business. At the core of these partnerships is the Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Service Program.
On average, for each dollar DSB invests in vocational rehabilitation, state and federal governments will receive over $6.30 in future tax revenues.
The fact of the matter is, it enabled me to have a life of freedom and independence and to be no different than anybody else is.
These skills allow participants the opportunity to live independently and be successfully employed.
Robert Ott.
Today I'm the president and CEO of Certain Victory Food Services Incorporated. As a businessman who has worked very hard in the Business Enterprise Program, I've become successful and financially stable to where I am able to have my own independence and be able to be free. I make a difference. Making a difference is what life's all about.
With a focus on personal independence, the Orientation and Training Center also builds the skills students need for employment.
Doing those things that the everyday person does and enjoys, and just because they're blind, they're not letting that stop them.
You first need to get involved with the DSB. You need to get connected with people who can help you.
I still remember and I still recall a lot of my experiences and my skills. My skill set is still there and my network is still there.
Being able to provide different aids or devices that improve someone's life and enable them to move back into their normal lifestyle.
So exciting to see a person who's now able to be active in their community.
It's a great feeling that I can stay a productive member of society.
If I hadn't got connected to these people, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
You know, we're always available to provide assistance when there is a need.
Vision loss is not the end of the road.
This program has worked. This program has become very successful.
They're taking it one step further to be not only adjusted, but living a happy life.
They are there to support, assist you, help you with training, whatever you need to succeed.
When they're happy and feeling successful, that makes my day.
With Department of Services for the Blind, they're allowing me to go forward.
They have places to go and things to do.
And it's worth me giving it a shot.
Text www.dsb.wa.gov 1-800-552-7103.